at the time that we saw this, that video clip of him returning had over 103 million views on it, which in itself is insane. So MD, I know why The Rock was there, because there was no build for it. You don't have The Rock come back without any build. So this is what I wanted the sidebar to be, but we really can't do it now. But real quick on it, SmackDown was in Colorado. The reason why The Rock was on SmackDown is because The Rock was in town to go to the Colorado versus Colorado State football game.
Oh my God.
That's a horrible reason, man. That's a horrible reason.
That's why he was there, because The Rock was all over game day. The Rock was all on the sideline during the game. And if not for nothing, I stayed up till 2:30 Saturday night watching that football game. And I'm a Florida State fan. My game was earlier in the day. I'm a Florida State fan, and I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning to watch Colorado football. So that's why he really was there, because let's face it, if you're going to have a Rock and your ratings are going down the tube, why wouldn't you announce it? It absolutely was because The Rock, because of the Colorado football game. So what I wanted to talk to MD about, we can't go too long with this, but how has Colorado football, you let off the big old God, how has Colorado football changed the game? Did you see, and not for nothing, that game shouldn't have been that close. That was a good ass game, but they were supposed to blow that team out by like 3 touchdowns. So the fact that it went into double overtime says a lot about their terrible defense, like I told you already. But what does that say about what Coach Prime is doing, that he can get somebody like The Rock? Because The Rock was not in town for SmackDown. Why the hell would The Rock go to Colorado just for random SmackDown? The Rock was in town because he wanted to be on the sideline with Deion Sanders, because right now Deion Sanders is the hottest thing in football.
Are you saying The Rock is a clout chaser?
Hey,
that celebrities do that a lot. It don't matter how hot he is, but I will say this, and I know you ain't trying to listen. This is all for naught. Matter of fact, come Saturday, they're gonna get destroyed by Oregon. Bank that and put it in your pocket right now.
I don't think so, MD.
They're going to be destroyed by the Ducks. But
MD said it.
But to the note, again, it's not some type. Football ain't for some type of feel good story on the sideline. It's about the product on the field. Now, with that aspect, it's going to take 2, maybe 3 years for him to get a team where he can actually beat something. These teams that he playing in Colorado State, even though that's a rivalry game, still, again, like you said, it shouldn't have been that close. But we're looking at somebody that's trying to go up the ladder and eventually go to the NFL. And once he gets to the NFL, we all know he's not going to have the same result, because he's not going to be able to put a team together, recruits like that in the NFL. So again, for me personally, I don't like it just because I'm a hater and I don't like Deion Sanders like that.
I'm glad he said
for the sense of like he don't deserve to be a head coach in the NCAA, especially D1. He don't deserve it at all.
MD, why not though? Why not?
Because he ain't did nothing to deserve to be a D1 coach. What has he done to be? What did he do to deserve to be the coach at Jackson State?
MD, who would you say is the greatest college football coach of all time?
Bear Bryant.
I'd say Bobby Bowden, but whatever. We pulling that straws there. But and that's 100% my bias. But when they came,
you said Bobby Bowden?
Yeah. When
isn't that basketball?
No, that's Florida State.
No.
Oh my goodness, Van Cat.
No, but no, I'm sorry. You're right. That's Ron Simmons. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Ron Simmons. Come on, Van Cat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He played.
Yeah, he came from FSU.
Yeah, he played for Bobby Bowden.
Yeah. So I got him confused.
What I'm saying
with another coach,
because a lot of people would say Joe Pa. Hell, right now Nick Saban probably gonna go down as the greatest ever, but they had to start somewhere. Like they started when they came into their schools, like Howard Schnellenberger, when he came in and took over the Hurricanes, that was his first job, like just shitty. But he learned the process. Dion came in at a HBCU, got them to the championship, and then it's not like he rolled off of his fame. And remember, MD, I already kicked your ass on this debate over on the arena with this whole Dion thing. So you just keep trying to open up old wounds, but it's not like he went to a school. It's not like he took over a squad like Texas A&M, because they are going to fire Jimbo Fisher, or he came in and took over LSU or something. He came in and took over a team that hadn't won a game. The last time this many people watched the Colorado Buffaloes is when Cordell Stewart was their quarterback, and they went to the national championship. That team has been irrelevant forever. This guy came in and has already won 3 times the amount of games they've won in the
with
past
missing
2
toes.
years. Huh?
With missing toes. Keep going.
But what I'm saying is, so I get it with the hate, but in college football, where you're literally a hurt quarterback away, Georgia, I was watching that Georgia game. Georgia didn't pull away in that game to the second half.
They didn't.
So what I'm saying is, Georgia is allegedly the number 1 team in the country. Florida State struggled like hell with I'm talking about with Bobby Bowden, with Boston College, a team that they were supposed to beat by 3 touchdowns. On any given day, somebody could get hot. And Colorado right now got the quarterback. Their quarterback is hot. They have more 100-yard receivers than anybody. I always said the defense is shit. I've said that. Their defense is horrendous. They can't stop anybody. But in college football, where all you need is a good quarterback and the ability to score quick, they got it. And that guy is as charismatic as you heard what happened. They sold $1.2 million worth of sunglasses in a weekend.
Wow.
Just because everybody wants to be Dion. So the fact that what I'm tripping on is the fact that The Rock is a WWE Hall of Famer. The Rock, when you think of WWE, when all said and done and the books are closed, we're going to have The Rock and WWE going to be synonymous. The Rock didn't care to show up on random WWE show
on WrestleMania
unless he was at Colorado, because he'd rather go to Colorado to watch Colorado State just so he could be on the sideline with Deion Sanders. And then, oh yeah, by the way, since it's down the street from where SmackDown gonna be, let me pop into the show that was made for me. Bro, this is huge. I know it ain't gonna happen, but I hope they go undefeated just to shut people like you up, the haters.
Wait, you're hoping Colorado goes undefeated?
Yes.
Yeah, but
MD, ever since I met MD like 9 or 10 months ago, he been hating on Dion.
But he kind of has I mean, I see MD's point though. I kind of do. I mean,
man, what position has Dion coached on any level? What position has Dion coached on any level? Pop one, hell, MD, middle school, high school.
MD, you got the transfer portal now. You don't have to be a good coach. Like, what are you talking about?
So now, but now that means
so all this put on the transfer portal
is not real. It's not real. He hasn't earned anything.
What you
right? And all them poor kids that lost their athletic scholarship. Well, not lost their athletic scholarship, but lost their position on that Colorado team. All them poor kids.
They were terrible. They were terrible. They were terrible.
Trevor is cold-hearted, man. God,
they were terrible. And you and MD, you could agree. You could appreciate this as being an individualist. If you don't do your job, if you don't do your job right, you don't deserve to keep it. And that was the point. He realized he had a team full of shit, and he got rid of it.
But it's one thing to like lose your position in the depth chart. It's another thing just to lose your position altogether, though, Trevor. Them kids had to enter the transfer portal themselves because of the amount of depth
right now.
Oh man! Oh wow!
I just want to say real quick.
Shame on you, Trevor. Shame on you.
The coach I was thinking about, the basketball coach, was Bobby Knight. So when you said Bobby Bowden, I was thinking Bobby Knight.
Mr. Choke his players.
Yeah, that guy.
So MD, you're not a fan of the transfer portal, huh?
Well, I think the transfer portal should be strictly a student decision. I don't think outside entities should be able to influence the transfer portal. No, that's just me. Because then you would have to justify essentially booster pay or money being involved, and you can't do that in NCAA. Not under those guidelines, you can't.
So so what is it? You don't like all the attention that they're getting, and meanwhile nobody's talking about number one Georgia. Is that it?
Exactly. And everybody should be talking about number one.
There we go. Thank you.
Because Georgia is the number one team in college football. So why wouldn't you talk about Georgia?
There we go. So
Colorado has done nothing.
Just so y'all know, I knew I was gonna pull it out of him. MD don't really care. MD dying on this hill, this alleged imaginary hill, because Deion deserves to be where he is. It ain't like he with a good team. Deion is with a crappy team that he's making better and bringing some notoriety to. You're just mad that the defending national champions, your football team, the number one team in the country, is not. Nobody gives a damn about them.
Should Dora Sanders be the starting quarterback at Colorado right now?
Yes.
Oh my God.
The bum that they had there before hadn't won a game in 2 years.
So you telling me, and now this ain't Pop Warner where it's stuff going on outside. You telling me the coach's son should be the quarterback at the school?
It don't matter if he's the coach's son or not. He's a good quarterback. And isn't he the front runner for the Heisman right now?
And that's another conversation all in itself. Tell you what, like I said, we'll see come Saturday when them Ducks come in, what's gonna happen, and then we'll have this conversation a week from now.
So if they beat Oregon, what you gonna say?
It was a fluke. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
You see what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You see, what I am telling you is that there's no team in college football right now that is unbeatable. I'm a Seminole fan. We're number 4 in the country. Do we deserve to be number 4? Probably not, because we got the scare of our life when Jordan Travis went down. You guys, my wife, when I saw him go down, I said, "Oh God, season's over." But luckily he came back. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
hey, but okay. So as far as with The Rock, though, you're cool if what you're saying is what it is, because I saw The Rock had some interviews and whatnot leading up, or actually a month before. I believe it was like a month before this whole thing happened. So you're thinking that this was a spur of the moment type thing? Oh, I'm going to be there for this, so I can go to this.
Absolutely.
No, he was on College Game Day the next morning.
Yeah, that's why he was there for that game.
Boy, I mean, it just looks bad. There's a guy that sent a meme out saying, "I spent X amount of dollars to go to WrestleMania 39, and The Rock didn't show up. But then for a $20 SmackDown show, The Rock shows up." You know, it's like, of any time that you can get somebody like The Rock.
Why would they think The Rock was going to be at WrestleMania 39?
No, I'm just saying, if The Rock would, I mean, he's trying to say, hey, of all the times during this year that if you were ever to show up, obviously you would think, you know, a pop-up of, like when Roman won, if you would just have rock music just hit after the rubber chicken with Cody and whatnot, and you just heard The Rock's music, people would have lost their minds. He didn't have to do a damn thing. He didn't have to touch nobody. All he had to do was just raise his eyebrow and go back. And that would have been the biggest thing ever.
But what I'm saying, though, Van Cat, like the whole Pat McAfee thing kind of gave it away, because Pat McAfee is on that show. Is on that College Game Day show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was kind of a giveaway from that. But to your point, yeah, I would agree. Like, yeah, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, just think that there would be a better thought process behind having such a Because I mean, let's be real. The Rock doesn't have work right now.
It was spur of the moment.
He doesn't have work. There's a strike going on, so there's no work for him in the film industry to do anything. So he should, just like Cena. Cena's available.
That goes to show you it was spur of the moment. Like it had nothing to do with SmackDown. If SmackDown was in Buffalo, New York, The Rock wouldn't have been there. It's because he was on game day the next morning.
Yeah, and that's another thing, Trevor. Why in the hell is ESPN College Game Day at the Colorado game? For what?
MD. MD. This is what I don't get with you, brother. I don't get what I'm not understanding this.
But Trevor, to your point, you just talked about how this team has been irrelevant for so long. And magically, Dion is on.
Now they got a superstar.
But that's not what college football is about.
I kind of agree with MD. I see MD's point.
College game day is supposed to be for the most compelling matchup of the week. Colorado and Colorado State is not the most compelling matchup of the week. I don't give a damn about Deion Sanders. Coach the game and shut up.
It ended up being the best game of the week, though. I'll tell you that.
Man, no, it wasn't. MD. That's just because you saw it on TV.
MD, I hadn't watched the Colorado game since 1994 when Cordell Stewart was the quarterback. Now I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning watching a double overtime game. And it wasn't just me, by the way, because I'm getting texts 2:30 in the morning like, oh, wow, did y'all just watch that? Bro, like there's something about this team that's compelling as hell. In a few weeks, the ship may just crash into the iceberg.
It's gonna crash Saturday.
Wait a minute.
It's gonna crash Saturday.
You right now is Colorado is the top story, and that's it.
What MD is saying, the sentiment that MD is saying is similar to what Charles Barkley was saying during the past season in NBA. Why the hell are we showing the Laker games when they were like they were like 4 teams below the playoffs? They were so far out. They were like 13th or 14th place, but they were showing them on TNT and other big ESPN game matchups. Meanwhile, you have teams that are better. That don't fly though, Trevor. You gotta have some kind of integrity. We're watching a team that literally at that point was not playing for anything. And we're forcing them on TV when there are other teams that bust their ass, and they should get the spotlight. So that's why I agree with MD. I think there should be some.
Basketball is bigger than the Lakers. Like who in basketball is a bigger brand than the Lakers?
Oh Lord! All of a sudden, the Lakers is the greatest thing.
I'm asking you. Celtics would probably be the only one to rival them, correct?
Yeah, so the Chicago Bulls don't exist. The New York Knicks isn't.
They're not on the same level brand-wise. Venkat, come on, man. Hey, peace, St. Louis. Yeah, y'all tune in tomorrow. St. Louis versus Stacey Mobley. No, hold on, Venkat. At some point, you're gonna have some damn integrity here.
Oh Lord.
If I wouldn't give a damn if the Sacramento Kings was 72-10.
Then you show their games.
And the Lakers was 40-42. The Lakers are getting the bigger draw. It is
they're not.
It is. The brand recognition. It's brand recognition.
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely absurd. You're gonna show a potential worse. First of all, you're showing a team that has no stakes behind it at that time. And potential for a blowout to happen because they're not competitive. And then you have the other team that should be on TV. This happened many times where you're like,
jump on that capitalism. Jump on it.
I'm just saying, I think if the best, you should always want to see the best.
The competitive, yeah.
You should always. Well, at this point, I agree with you on that one, MD. We should always see the best. You should always earn your way to a position to be the best. You should not be seeing things because, it's a brand. Like, what the hell a brand got to do with anything? Literally, Wendy's is a brand selling 1 cent chicken sandwich, whatever the hell it's selling. I don't care about that.
And if McDonald's was selling them for 5 cents on the same week that Wendy's was selling them for 1 cent, McDonald's still gonna get top billing because it's the brand. They're the bigger brand, the brand recognition. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying the brand. And Deion Sanders is the hottest thing in college football right now. Okay, Venkat, think about this. We did a show on all the layoffs at ESPN.
Yep.
This Deion is driving these shows. That's all anybody talks about is Deion. I just saw something the other day where somebody was like, man, I can't wait for them to lose. I'm so sick of Deion right now. No real reason. They just mad that everybody, they just mad that everybody talking about Deion. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. If Colorado loses Saturday, then they're gonna be talking about him more, because now they're gonna be like, man, how is Deion gonna rebound from this? He's just the most compelling story. Venkat, I haven't watched a Colorado game since 1994. I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning to watch a double overtime Colorado State game. Think about that. Think about how ridiculous that sounds. I'm a Florida State fan. My team had already won. Like, think about that. Think about how ridiculous that is.
It is ridiculous. I don't get. See, that's me. I've never gotten into hype or professional treatment that isn't deserved. I don't really go for that type of stuff. That's why I kind of co-sign on what MD is saying, because that would bother the hell out of me if, like, the best team isn't being seen and some kind of Cinderella story that's going on over here is superseding all the hard work that the other teams are doing. They should get the billing. They need to earn their way into the conversation. And these early games doesn't fly. But, I get it. Everybody wants views and whatnot. But what if that game would have been a complete blowout, like it should have been?
But it's not a Cinderella story. It's a story of somebody being pushed into a position that he didn't earn. That's just what it is.
Well, that's even more problematic.
And one last thing, and before you end off on this, I saw a report that now Colorado games are the highest selling in college football, surpassing Ohio State.
Yes, I meant to bring that up, MD. In the nosebleeds, the tickets was going for $400.
Oh, well, they're retarded. I ain't paying no damn.
Ridiculous.
Listen, MD, I live in Florida. I live in South Florida. You can get Miami Hurricanes season tickets for $99. Think about what I just said. You can get season tickets to the Hurricanes for $99. That's all the home games. One Colorado State ticket was going for $400 to $500.
That's ridiculous.
But that's Deion. That's the Deion effect. They sold $1.2 million in sunglasses. That's what I'm saying. I get it, Venkat. Venkat, I know me and you done had enough conversations. You don't like the superstars. I get it. You love the smaller guy. When you said it, I quote you. When everybody's talking Jordan and the Bulls, you're talking about Drexler and the Trailblazers. We get it. You don't like the big guy. But I'm telling you, in this country, they latch on to superstars. And
because they're a bunch of cowards and they can't do
Sanders it. And this Colorado football team is the story. Venkat, if they make it to the playoffs somehow, all their next two games, they got Oregon and they got USC. If they somehow, think about it, if they somehow get past Oregon this weekend and then they go play USC has the quarterback that is the consensus number one pick in next year's NFL draft. Can you imagine how they're going to build that up? You got the number one pick coming up in the draft, Caleb Williams versus Shedeur Sanders in a matchup of epic proportion. Oh, it writes itself. Deion been playing with house money and he has won. He won at Jackson State. He's going to win at Colorado. They won one game in the past 2 years. So he's already won 3. Can you imagine if he wins 10? They're going to build a statue for the guy. Think about it. And he got a stud. His quarterback, starting quarterback is his son, a stud.
No,
how was he a stud? Did he? No, I got to stop you right now. How was he a stud? How was he a stud? If he was a stud, he would be in the SEC or the ACC somewhere. Nepotism at its finest.
Oh my God!
Did he get recruited by one of the top? Did he get recruited by one of the top colleges? No, he did not.
Nepotism.
No, he did not.
Oh yeah,
he's riding the waves of his daddy. That's what he's doing.
I'm gonna tell you a name. I'm gonna tell you a name, and then I'm gonna just be quiet. I'm gonna just be quiet.
I want to hear this.
Jerry Rice, greatest wide receiver in NFL history. Nobody wanted him either. So
yeah, but he didn't have daddy to give him a position.
Exactly.
He worked his way. He worked his way to the top. He worked his way to the top. That's what it is.
My brother, all it takes is one draft to win to lift the wings of an eagle.
Oh my God, Trevor is just crazy, man.
That one draft is a hurricane from Deion Sanders.
MD know why I said that. That's MD line.
It just doesn't work for me, brother. It just doesn't work for me.